Good afternoon, everybody. This is going to be part 5 of this NALCAP video guide series and vlog. And this is going to be talking about the big bad apostille, which we need for our background check to get our visa. This is the one that everybody struggles with and is scared of and tries to figure out and worries about, but it's really not so bad. So today we're going to be talking about how to apply for the apostille, best way to go through that process, and some of the tips and tricks along the way to make that as smooth as possible. So hopefully this will be super helpful, and let's get to it. Okay, so let's talk about getting the apostille for our background check. The Apostille of Hague is what we need, and what that does is it allows our background check to be recognized by a foreign government that follows the Hague Convention. Now, we're not going to talk about what the Hague Convention is. We don't really care. We just want to get our visa. So today I'm going to walk you through how to apply to get the apostille, the form, and I'm also going to talk about mailing that form into the government, because there's a couple things that have come up in the Reddit page and Facebook page over the past years and some questions about the best way to do that and some issues. So let's first take a look at the actual application form for the apostille. So let's go to Google and let's simply type in apostille. And you're going to see that the very first thing that comes up is the state.gov website where it says apostille requirements. We want to click on that. And this website is going to tell us and talk to us about some of the things for the apostille. Honestly, there's not really a whole lot on this specific page that we need. What we want to do is go over to the left where it says requesting authentication services and click on that. From here, when we scroll down, this is where we want to be. Where it says what to include when you request authentications by mail, that's where we want to be. This number 1 right here where it says complete form DS4194, that is the form that we have to fill out, the application form to get the apostille. So we want to click on that, and that's going to open up the actual form that we're going to fill out. Now the first page of this is strictly just explanation and instructions, and it's very helpful to read through. I encourage you to read through, especially this instructions section. When we scroll down, we're going to see the actual form. You can print this out and fill it out by hand, but there's really no point. You might as well just do it on a computer. So the first section is just going to be your personal information. So your name, email, address, city, all that good stuff. Section 2 is very important to note. It's going to talk about the delivery method for how they are going to send it back to you. So when we mail this to the State Department, we are going to put it in an envelope, and then within that envelope, we're going to put another self-addressed envelope that they can then use to send it back to us, because they're not going to pay for postage and go through the hassle of doing all that to get it back to us. We have to take care of that. So we will need 2 envelopes, one addressed to them, one addressed to ourselves, so that we can send it to them and they can send it back to us when we're done. Now, you can use basically any service other than FedEx. You cannot use FedEx to have them send it back to you. So you can either do it simply by mail with a self-addressed stamped envelope. You can do it through UPS, DHL, or some other service. I don't really know all the different options out there. But just make sure that you're not using FedEx. They, for some reason, I don't know why, they don't want you to use that. Here on the right, if there's a tracking number, which is recommended in case something happens to it, then you can put that in here. Now, we're going to talk more about tracking number and how we mail this in a minute. So we'll come back to this, but we're going to go ahead and move on to Section 3. So Section 3, courier representative contact information. Basically, are you submitting or retrieving this request on behalf of another individual? I'm going to assume no, so we're going to click no and skip this section. Finally, and something that has, I think, tripped some people up, is Section 4, document information. Country of use, which is outside the U.S., you are going to click here, and this little drop-down menu is going to open up. You want to click Spain, find Spain. So it's alphabetical, so we want to go down to S, click Spain, okay? Document type, click on it. It's going to open up the drop-down menu, and you're going to find the background check, okay? So it should be FBI criminal background check. Number of documents, 1, okay? Or you can click on the drop-down menu. Processing fee per document. Click it, drop down menu. It's $20 per document. Okay, so when you send this off, you're going to include a personal check. Don't include cash. They say not to include cash. Include a personal check for $20 to the State Department. Okay, this stuff over on the right says for official use only. Ignore it. Okay, down at the bottom, document total. Click 1. Estimated cost, just one document, $20. Again, down here at the bottom for official use only. And that's basically it. So once you've filled out this top portion with all of your personal info, you filled out section 2, put in your tracking number if you have one, which again, we're going to talk about that in just a second, and then filled out section 4, you're good to go. Just make sure that here, like I said before, I just want to emphasize this, that you put Spain here. Okay, and that you select the correct document type. Some people incorrectly put the United States or something else, but you're putting the country that you're going to be using this for, and we're going to Spain. We're applying for a Spanish visa, so make sure that you put Spain there. But other than that, that's all that you're going to do. So once you get that, and there is a third page here in case you're for people that are applying for a ton of different documents, but we're not going to be using that. So once you get that, you're going to print this out, and then we're going to be ready to mail it off. So let's talk about the mailing process. So as I mentioned here under section 2, we're going to need to mail this to the State Department. And if we go back to the explanation page, okay, we're going to see here that it says, section 1, complete the form DS 4194. All right, we got that. The document requiring authentication services. So we're going to mail the form, and we're going to mail the background check, okay, the copy of our background check. Now in the last video that I made, I talked about getting the background check. I talked about requesting a hard copy of the background check. You don't have to do that. You can print out the background check from the link that they email you when you get your background check. But you do have to make sure that it has the FBI watermark seal on there, otherwise it's not valid. But regardless, you have to have some hard copy, whether you print it or you request a hard copy from the FBI. You have to have a hard copy to mail with this form, okay? So 2 things so far. The form 4194 that we just walked through, a hard copy of your FBI background check. Okay, number 3, you got to have that $20, a check for $20, okay, made to the State Department, and it talks about that here in the form. Okay, if we go back up, it says here in section 5, projected cost. It says the authentication process is $20 per document. I think it used to be $8, and some people have had questions about that, but it is $20, okay, $20. And it says right here, allowable payment methods include money orders, checks, personal, corporate, certified, cashiers, or traveler's checks, all payable to the U.S. Department of State. Okay, so those are the different types of checks that are available. It does mention walk-in service options. However, currently they don't offer walk-in service anymore. So this is a little bit outdated. They haven't changed it. They're no longer open for walk-in service if you just happen to be in Virginia or whatever. But anyway, so make a check, one of these kinds, for $20. Okay, we're going to put that in there. That's the third thing. So we've got the form 4194, the background check, hard copy, and we've got our check for $20 made to the U.S. Department of State as per what the form says. And then number 4, one self-addressed prepaid envelope for return of your document. And here's where it says don't include FedEx. Okay, so these are the 4 things. So we're going to include all of this together. Our form 4194, our background check hard copy, our $20 check, and our self-addressed form, all in the envelope going to the Department of State. Now, this is where you're going to mail it to. If we scroll down a little bit here, mail your packet to the following address: Office of Authentications, U.S. Department of State, blah, 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 blah. That's what you're going to fill out. It does say that they recommend using trackable mail from USPS, or basically just trackable mail in general, and that's not what we're going to talk about. Okay, so I've looked into this a lot, and a lot of people have talked about the best way to do this. Honestly, you can simply just get a simple blank photo mailer, document mailer, get some stamps, throw the address on there, put everything in there, get another one, fold it up, put your address on there, your own address on there, stamp it, put it in the first one, and mail it off. All right? Basically, send it as normal mail. That's the simplest way to do everything, the least complicated way. However, if you do that, you don't have a tracking number. So that if something did happen to your stuff in the mail, you're not going to know. And there's going to be no way for you to track it or to find it or find out or contact someone about it. And you're just never going to hear from it. So you're just going to be left wondering. And that's going to be problematic because this process can take 6 to 8 weeks. So you may be waiting for weeks thinking, oh, yeah, it's in the process. But in reality, it actually got lost in the mail. Now, that's probably not going to happen, right? I mean, that's probably not going to happen. But it's possible, and so it's definitely recommended to have a tracking number. I mean, as we saw, even the website recommends having a tracking number. So then what is the best way to go about getting a tracking number? Well, the one way that I kept seeing pop up on Reddit and Facebook that people have done in the past are these United States Postal Office flat rate priority mail envelopes. And these envelopes themselves are free. The post office provides these free. But once you pay for the label, it's about $10 to send something in these. So you would need two. One to send everything to the State Department, and then the other one to fold up and put inside so that they can send it back to you when they're done. So it's about $20, maybe a little bit more. And that's what a lot of people have done. Now, this has worked really well for some people, but some people have had some complications pop up using these. And the complication comes from the fact that USPS labels expire after 28 days. And as I mentioned just a moment ago, this process, as the State Department advertises, can take 6 to 8 weeks to get the apostille. Now, I have commented and read comments on Reddit and talked to people who have said that they sent using these flat rate mailers and theirs took more than 28 days and they never had a problem. They were never contacted saying that the label went bad. But I have also read plenty of comments saying that they were contacted saying they had to send another envelope because their label had expired. So they were contacted by the State Department and they ended up having to send another label. So that's fine. That's not the end of the world. Sure, but it's still just a complication. Major? Maybe not. But I personally want the absolute simplest way to do this. So what is that? Well, what I found is I looked at UPS instead of going through the actual USPS, United States Postal Office, UPS, United Parcel Service, and their labels don't expire until 90 days after they're made. So what I did is I got, again, going back to these just generic cheap, it was like $2, and I actually got this at the UPS store, generic blank photo mailers, 2 of them, and I simply went online and created 2 UPS labels, one to go to Virginia, the State Department, and one made to myself. And it was only about $10 each for each label. Printed them out, slapped them on there, and sent everything to the State Department. Now, UPS does not have a specific UPS mailer like USPS does. You just use your own shipping materials, which is why it's just these blank, and you can buy them, as I mentioned, at the UPS store. But that's what I did because that way I didn't have to worry about the label expiring and them having to contact me or me having to send in another envelope or label or whatever and having to worry about all that, because as I mentioned, I simply wanted the simplest, most efficient way to do this, least hassle possible. So I'm going to show you just very quickly how to go to UPS and make a label if that's the route that you want to go. If not, that's great. Okay, so to make our own shipping label for UPS, we're just going to go to Google and we're going to type in UPS shipping label. Or you can just type in UPS label. And we're just going to scroll down until we find where it says UPS official website, create a shipment. We're going to click right there. My ad blocker is going to try to keep me from going through, but I'm going to proceed anyway. And right here, we're going to get right to it. This is the first page where you're going to create a shipping label on the UPS website. First thing is it's going to ask me, basically my own information. So I'm just going to type in Fred Flintstone for my name because it's not going to let me move on unless I type in a name. For my address, I'm just going to say 1234 and just pick one of these random things that comes up. Well, sure, Kansas, why not? Okay, email, scoobyDoo@gmail.com, why not? Okay, that's not my email, so don't try to email me. Phone number 615-8675-309. And send status updates? Sure. Okay, continue. Is this a residential address? Well, if I was genuinely putting in my information, I would click yes because it's presumably where I would be living. Click continue. Now we're going to put where we're shipping this to. Okay, so now we're going to need that government website where it has the address for the Office of Authentication. So we pull that back up, and right here where we were under where it says requesting authentication services like before, and down here at the bottom, I'm just going to take this and copy and paste the information into the UPS website. So company or full name or company name, Office of Authentications, no contact name, U.S. Department of State. Now, what you're going to notice is that not all of this is going to fit in one line, but we're going to be able to add other lines. So from here, and it's going to pop up with stuff here. Just don't click on any of that. Just click out of it. And then we're going to be able to add multiple lines here. Now, we're going to go to the next line and pull this information up, put it in. We're going to keep adding it in. And you will have to kind of double up on some of this stuff. So, for example, I'm going to go ahead and put see right there, address line 2, max length exceeded. So we're going to have to put that on the next one. So put that right there. And then P.O. Box 1206. All right, we're going to put that here on, there we go. See, we can put the street address and the P.O. Box together. And then from here, Sterling, Virginia, I'm going to go ahead and copy the zip code. And when I do this, it comes up with Arcola, Virginia. That is wrong. Okay, do not let it keep that because it's Sterling, Virginia, and you can click it when it pops up. Okay, so make sure that you've got everything exactly as it is here on the state website. Okay, Sterling, Virginia. We've got the zip code correct. Change it from Arcola to Sterling, Virginia. Email and phone, nothing there. Don't need that. Okay, but we've got everything else filled out. Going to click continue. Is this residential? No, it's not. Okay, now from here, this is where we're going to go into the information here. Now, what we're creating or what we're shipping is just a photo mailer like I showed you a moment ago. Now, I got on a scale. I put everything in there, including the second photo mailer, and I jumped on the scale with it, and it ended up just being like 0.2 pounds. So you can do that if you want, but for me, it was just 0.2. So that's what I put. I didn't put anything for length, width, and height. That's really just asking if you're doing a box or something. Total package value, you don't have to fill that out. That's really if it's only anything over $100 value. Reference numbers, you can add a reference number if you want to, and add a barcode. There aren't any lithium batteries or any of that stuff, so we're going to click continue. And from here, you can either pick to schedule a pickup or drop off shipment. I just pick drop off shipment. You can go drop it off at the UPS store or one of those UPS drop off points. Click the date, all that stuff. Okay, and they happen to have currently a promo code, which is making it a little bit cheaper. When you get down, you can select your option. Now, it's currently on the recommended option, which is second day air, which is atrociously expensive, $40. Make sure you click lowest cost, $10. Okay, $10.62, which normally it says it would be $13.27, but the current deliver promo code is taking off a couple of dollars. So, normally $13, $14, not bad. Now keep in mind that you're going to do this again. You're going to create another label for the second one that you're going to put inside the first one so they can send it back to you. Okay? So, click lowest cost, click continue. It's going to let you go through a couple of more options here, notifications, emails, continue, all the stuff. What are you shipping? It will make you put that. I just put apostille application. Okay, keep going. Do you, messages, all that stuff. You can read through it, select the options that you want, how you're going to pay, credit card, PayPal, so forth and so on. Use promo code, okay? And it's going to go through, you're going to pay for it. Then you're going to print it out, get some clear tape, packing tape, tape it onto that photo mailer, stick it on there. Make sure that you print out the second label onto your second photo mailer, fold up the second one, put it inside, and ship it off with those other items you need, the application form, your background check, and your $20 check. And that's pretty much it. You're good to go. There is one other option that you can do. If you're short on time, you can do the same thing and go back and click on one of the more expensive options, such as the second day air. If you want to do second day air, UPS also has these express envelopes, which is specifically for documents. And basically the only difference between this is in what I just showed you is that this has to be sent second day air or next day air, which as you can see, second day air is like $50 and next day air is like $100 something. It's just super expensive. But if you happen to be, getting into August, September, and you're trying to shave days off, then you can do one of those more expensive options, but really there's no point. So just go buy one of these generic photo mailers and pay the $10, $15 for two labels, so $20, $30, and send it off. Now, as mentioned earlier, this process can take about 6 to 8 weeks. That's what they advertise. The last thing that I'll mention before closing this video is that some people have had some luck once their application has been delivered. That is, once the State Department has received it and put it in the system, some people have had some luck contacting their congressman to get the process sped up. I've seen comments by people on Facebook and Reddit who were in a time crunch. They were running out of time, getting close to the time when they needed to be leaving for Spain when the program was going to start, or they simply just wanted to get it done faster. And they were able to contact their congressman, and their congressman was able to get it done in like a couple of days rather than 6 or 7 or 8 weeks. So that is a possibility. If you want to try that, try contacting your congressman. I did see 1 or 2 comments saying that they tried that and it didn't really do anything. So I suppose it does depend on your particular congressman. But nevertheless, if you need to get it done faster, you can go that route and try to get that done. Certainly isn't going to hurt anything trying to reach out to your congressman and trying to get it done a little bit faster. But in total, this is what I did. And this has worked for me. Like I said, I avoided using the post office because their labels expire within 28 days, and I just simply didn't want to have to deal with having to replace a label. So UPS, their labels don't expire for 90 days, so it simply made sense to go this route. The price is going to be about the same. So this has worked for me. Hopefully it will work for you. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting the channel. If you like this video, please hit that like or subscribe button down below. Stay tuned for the next video for when we get that apostille back and we get ready to send off the actual visa application. Until next time, peace.